This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard the Boeing Franchise 757. This is your captain, the D plane, Daniel Ehrenberg. And we're going to be talking about the Airport series of films this week. This is a series of films about hard-working young heroes wearing captain's uniforms and wings, and they cheat on their wives, and they love to do it. And the movies, they give them permission, and sometimes maybe you have to pay for an abortion in Sweden, but usually everything's fine. All right.
This is your co-pilot speaking. This is
Is it
the
Eric
H-bomb.
Estrada? Is this Eric Estrada?
No, this is not Julio. This is H-bomb. Welcoming you to episode
Please,
100.
please don't say the word bomb on the plane.
Sorry about that, Captain. Episode 179, and we are indeed covering the Airport first two movies. We'd like you to settle in and enjoy the ride. There might be some turbulence. There might be a briefcase that's suspicious. There might be an old lady that is hogging scenery. Just pay her no mind. If you get drunk, you can sleep through all of the goings on around the plane.
Unless
Please,
unless Helen Reddy has her acoustic guitar out, you might not be able to sleep through that. If you look out the left side of your window, you might be able to see a man in a yellow turtleneck coming in, and he's gonna be fixing some things in the cockpit. So get ready.
make sure to slap your stewardess on the ass every time she walks by, please. Thank you.
Well, only if it's a nice hot little ass, right?
That's right. Not if they're old or past their expiration date. I make sure that infidelity is running amok, please.
That's right. If they're too old, make sure to treat them like they're lawn furniture. All right, gang. I could have done that the whole episode.
That would have been great. We want to welcome you to the franchise, Flight 179.
That's right. Okay. Airport and Airport 1975. I watched these movies for the first time this weekend, and boy, am I delighted to talk about them.
Yeah, I did too. I had never seen them either. I will say right off the bat, I want to say something right off the bat. I love that we're doing this. I really regret one. It's a great regret in my life, Dan. Are you ready for this regret?
I have a regret too. I'd love to hear yours first.
My regret is that we didn't watch these first
Before Airport?
Airplane.
Before Airplane. Yeah. I don't care about that, but here's my regret, Henry. I waited until the age of 33 to watch these films.
I can understand that.
I cannot wait to watch the third and fourth entries in this series, and I will watch the first Airport movie maybe 99 more times in my life.
9 more times. Interesting, because I felt that way a little bit more about the second one, Airport 75.
Why? Because it's 2 hours shorter?
It's 2 hours shorter, and there's a little bit more happening in that. But
I think that's what I like about the first Airport, Henry, is it truly earns its title, Airport. We're not up in the air until over an hour into the movie, and it's just a bunch of people milling about in an airport.
It really does take place in an airport. I was not prepared for that at all whatsoever. I did not take the title that literally.
No.
I will say in Airport 75, I kind of had a weird moment where I really lost control of myself, not in terms of my continence, but my laughter control when Helen Reddy was singing to Linda Blair. I could not stop laughing. I don't think that was the intention, but I could not control myself. It was brilliant. And
Henry,
that is why I say I wish I had seen Airplane afterwards. But,
let's get into it.
Yes. Like right. Chris Cuomo says, let's get after it.
All right, Airport, huge release. Let's talk about it. Written and directed by the great George Seaton.
Okay.
Yes.
George Seaton, by the way, his maiden name, or I guess his Seaton is his stage name. He George Stenius. Why didn't you keep that? That's hilarious.
That's a pretty cool name.
He'd be George the Genius Stenius.
I like that. That's very very Greek sounding, very Greek philosopher.
Sure.
And these are very philosophical movies.
Very, very. Yeah. He died 9 years after this movie came out. Nobody talks about the airport curse the way they do the Poltergeist curse, but here it is.
Okay.
How about this fact, Henry? Did you know that the real airplane used to film the first airport was a real airplane that was like in use?
I didn't. There's something that's totally not interesting about that.
Yeah. But how about this? How about this further fact? In 1989, it crashed, killing 25 people.
Now that's great.
I feel like every year on TV, on the anniversary of that plane crash, we should show the movie Airport and recite the names of the 25 lives lost.
I think that it's not a bad idea, and obviously we all know why it crashed. They never fixed that bathroom properly.
Oh, you better believe it. That bathroom was fucked up.
And the ceiling was cracked. They never really addressed the ceiling, so sure.
Yeah, we touched down all right. Very little incident. Yeah. But George the Genius Cedius, he not a very distinguished director. Early in his career, he wrote and directed Miracle on 34th Street, which was sort of like the big deal.
That's a good one. You know me, I'm not into Christmas movies that much. That's a great one.
That's a great film about the magic of the Macy's shopping, department store. It's a great store, and thank God for Macy's. Experience.
Yeah, no, what would we do without them? There's nothing more comforting and fun than to go to that Macy's. Because I know you've done it. I know I did.
Oh, sure. You want to buy your girlfriend some jewelry? You're going to be walking 3 miles to the back of the store.
It's great. The walk to the Macy's is great. You can freeze your tits off. You get in there and you can wade through thousands.
Oh, I got mugged a block away from that Macy's once.
Remember that?
Yes. 40 people saw it and walked past doing nothing. I felt like Kitty fucking Genovese. All right.
Kitty Genovese had a very similar experience.
Hugely similar. This movie came out March 5th, 1970. Don't ask me why. Back then, studios were just like, March 5th.
I'll tell you right.
Is it going to be done by March 5th? We'll put it out.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I'll tell you right away. Could have put this movie on, not told me the date. I would have assigned it my own, 1960.
Oh, you thought it was earlier.
I knew 1970. This movie is like Ocean's 11.
You could never have fooled me. You could never have fooled me, though, Henry, because speaking of Ocean's 11, Dean Martin, he looks like a fucking leather trash bag in this movie.
He does, but he did in Ocean's 11, too.
He looks worse in this one. Are you kidding me? He is impregnating this Swedish girl, and is she Swedish, or are they just getting the abortion in Sweden?
She is British.
She's Jean Swedberg?
That's right.
Is that her name?
No. Yeah, I don't blame you though. This is one of those movies.
There's 1,000 people. Gene Seberg. Gene Seberg, by the way, from Breathless, of course, who Henry, 9 years after this movie, died of a barbiturate overdose.
Gene Seberg did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So how about that? The airport curse strikes again.
She was Burt Lancaster's paramour in this. Dean Martin's is Jackie Bissett.
Are you right about that? Oh, you are absolutely right about that. Yeah, Gene Seberg is fucking Lancaster on the sly, and Jacqueline Bissett is getting impregnated by Dean Martin.
Yes, she's a British stewardess
taking that leather hog,
who finds out that she's preggers and quite calmly reassures him that hey, There is no issue.
That's the thing. There's never an issue with cheating in these airport movies, Henry. The women get it. Every woman who sleeps with a married man in these movies, they like get impregnated, and they're just like, listen, I'm sleeping with a married man. Everything's great. I knew what I was getting into. Obviously, don't need to tell your wife. You don't need to leave your wife. Please don't pay for my abortion. Everything's totally cool. I just wanted some married dick.
Listen, Tanya. Oh, that's not her name. Tanya's Lancaster's girl. Sorry.
Gwen? I want to say it's Gwen.
Listen, Gwen. There's some places in Sweden we can go. I'll help you take care of all of it. There's not going to be any back alley shit going on.
Obviously, you'd only have to pay for half.
I know we're in Sweden, but we'll go Dutch, baby. Yeah.
And then as soon as that thing's out of you, get ready. I'm going to give you the time of your life. The clitoris is at its most sensitive directly after a Swedish abortion.
A Swedish abortion, very different than other national types of abortion. Different from an Italian abortion, an Irish abortion, a Jewish abortion.
Italy and Sweden have two things in common, Henry. They're meatballs and their abortions.
That very good point. Very good point. Some mountains in Italy too.
Sure.
Some mountains in Sweden. Yeah.
Some mountains in Utah. We'll get.
I wonder if in Switzerland you can have a neutral abortion where they can't really decide if the baby's going to stay or go.
A neutral abortion. I mean, how does that manifest itself?
Because it's Switzerland, they're neutral and everything.
Switzerland, they give you until the kid turns 10 to get the abortion. They give you a lot of time to figure it out.
Because they don't want to interfere on either side. They don't take a side, so they're like, let the kid be born, and at 10, we'll do it then. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. This movie came out March 5th, 1970, on a big budget for 1970 of $10.2 million.
Yeah.
But no worries. It made $100.5 million. It was the number 2 film of 1970. Since we haven't really covered this year a lot, I have the top 10 of 1970. If you want to play our old guessing game, what's on the list, Hank?
Yeah, I'm not going to do very well, but I'll try. I only have 8 movies, period, on my list. Yeah. But sure, I'll give it
I will say 1970, as much as the 1970s are revered as like a great movie decade, like 67 to 69 are amazing, and then like the rest of the 70s are great. This year is a little bit of dead weight.
It really is. I mean, I looked through every movie that was theatrically released, and I was really abysmal. Yeah.
1970 is to the 70s as 2003 is to the aughts.
Yes. Nice pull. Yeah. All right. Let me take a gander here. Let me take a guess. All right. So this came in number 2.
Number 2, baby.
All right. I'm going to say that in that top 10 somewhere, maybe the movie Love Story.
Love Story is number 1 with a mysterious disease. And what a great film Love Story is. Have you seen it, Henry?
I've seen it several times.
Have you? You fall in love with that Ally McGraw. You love Ryan O'Neal, even though he fucking calls her a piece of shit for the first hour of the movie. And it's a great movie. I have a bone to pick. The big line from that movie is "Love means never having to say you're sorry."
Right.
And in my relationship experience, I find that you have to say sorry a lot.
I find that line was written by a man to have a woman say.
I find that line to be utterly meaningless.
Yes, that is the great Arthur Hiller.
That's right, the director of an Alan Smithy film, Burn Hollywood Burn. My favorite movie.
Yes.
And I believe the John Goodwin Babe Ruth movie.
The Babe.
Sure,
The Babe saw it in theaters. I remember Love Story being on television a lot when I was a teenager, and I was in a big 70s phase in the 90s when I was watching almost everything I could see from the 70s, and that just fell into I just watched it. So it would come on, I'd watch it, I'd stay with it. Had a nice little theme going on there, little orchestral.
I believe it won Best Score that year at the Oscars.
Yeah. But love means never having to say you're sorry. Truer words have many times been spoken.
I like that Ryan O'Neal's a hockey enforcer in that movie.
Yes. There's a lot going on in that movie.
He's always in the penalty box.
And it's one of the modern takes on when the character is dying of a fatal illness, she only gets more beautiful.
Well, that's an Ebert line, Henry. And they never say what the illness is.
Do they not?
Henry,
Really?
I watched this movie recently.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
they never say.
They never say it.
Oh, I always thought it was like leukemia.
Yeah, that's
something.
what you assume.
Okay, all right. It could be anything, though.
It could be absolutely anything. It could be
me.
Ebola.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be Watergate syndrome. It could be a bad acid trip, after all. My other guess for this top 10 would be Woodstock.
Oh, that's a great guess, Henry. That's number 5.
Look at me.
Mhm.
Wow. All right. I'll keep going. There's no way in 1970 people flocked to put Julius Caesar in the top 10, is there?
No, there is no way.
How about The Music Lovers?
What's that?
Tchaikovsky bio by Ken Russell.
No, what the fuck?
Oh, all right. I got one more, and then you can go. Patton.
Yeah, Patton's number 4.
All right. I'm happy with myself. Continue.
No, you're great. Number 10 was The Aristocats.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Number 9 is Chariots of the Gods.
Okay.
Number 8, loved it so it's so nice they named it thrice. Tora.
Ah, yes.
Number 7, Ryan's Daughter. Is that about Ryan O'Neal? Hey, by the way, here's something I found out recently when I read the Wikipedia page of Love Story.
Yeah.
There's a sequel to Love Story called Oliver's Story, in which the Ryan O'Neal character later in life falls in love with Candice Bergen. We got to cover that shit.
Whoa. That sounds great. Was that direct to TV?
No, theatrical release, Henry. Late 70s, didn't do very well.
I imagine. Okay.
No, number 7, Ryan's Daughter. I'm looking at it now, Henry. Jesus Christ. This is a 1970 David Lean picture starring Robert Mitchum, and it is 3 hours and 26 minutes long.
It's David Lean, of course.
Set in the wake of the 1916 Easter Rising, a married woman in a small Irish village has an affair with a troubled British officer. Okay, number 6 is Little Big Man. Dustin Hoffman's still a star.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good movie. Even though it's about Native American stuff. Yeah.
Huh.
Number 5 is Woodstock. 4 is Patton. Number 3, I can't believe you didn't mention MASH. And
yeah. I never saw MASH.
Great movie. Number 2 is Airport. Number 1 is Love Story. While we're doing top 10s, you want to just do our top 10 for 1970, our own personal?
I think it's a great idea.
Thanks.
I think that you're going to take the lead because I only have 8.
Oh, right. Okay. So my number 10 is a Herschel Gordon Lewis film, that horror guy from back then. He was sort of like a third string Roger Corman.
Third string
Yeah.
Roger Corman, who is himself the Jim Plunkett of quarterbacks. Who makes an appearance in Airport 75, by the way, Jim Plunkett.
I didn't notice. But this is his masterpiece, number 10 on my list, The Wizard of Gore.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
Number 9 is the great Carl Reiner, Where's Papa, which has a very unfortunate and very long rape joke halfway through, but other than that, is great.
A long
It goes on for... This girl gets, like, gang raped, and it's supposed to be, like, super funny.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Number 8 is the Rolling Stones documentary, Gimme Shelter.
Yeah, I didn't include the Aristocats or Gimme Shelter because the Aristocats I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure I know I saw it as a kid.
I'm not a fan of the Aristocats. I never have been.
All right, and Gimme Shelter I've only seen sequences from, never the whole thing, so I didn't put it on. But number 8
You know when a whole fucking family of cats just whips their fucking dicks out and starts slapping each other in their furry little faces with their dicks? You know what that act is called? The Aristocats!
Oh, yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, I'd rather watch the cartoon.
All right, what's your number 8?
Well, my number 8's a music movie. It has one or two good moments, and I love this director's movie about one of my other favorite composers. But this movie, for the most part, is pretty junky, but hey, it exists, and it is called The Music Lovers.
Tchaikovsky. By Ken Russell, you said?
Yeah. His Mahler is phenomenal. This one, it like I said, it has some great moments. You have the great Richard Chamberlain playing Tchaikovsky.
He would have been good in one of these airport movies.
He would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Well, he was Shogun, right? Wasn't that him for a long
Yeah, I think that's right. Time? Yeah. My number 7 is I'm just gonna say it, Henry. A little movie called Airport.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. My number 7 is a movie I saw a couple of years ago after reading the book for the first time. It's a pretty bad adaptation of this book, which is a great book, and that is Catch-22.
I don't think it is a bad adaptation.
Really?
That is my number 6.
Really?
Yeah, Mike Nichols' Catch-22. I really like that movie. Now, Henry, I have a very important question to you. This year on Hulu, George Clooney produced and starred in an adaptation of Catch-22. I believe this might be one of those projects that doesn't actually exist. Has anybody on the face of this planet watched that?
Not me, and I actually knew about that. I don't have Hulu.
I was interested in it, and then the second it was on Hulu, I was like, am I going to watch this?
Yeah.
And then I just didn't.
I know. I hear you. I'm not interested. It's not a filmable book. I'm sorry to say.
I think Mike Nichols did about as well as anybody.
Yeah.
My number 5 heavy hitters. Oh, do you have the theme?
Wait, did that was your 6?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't give my 6. That was my 7. Catch-22.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. So it's my 6. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is Airport.
Love it. Can't wait to talk about it more. My number 5, heavy hit. Oh.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitter.
The listeners must be losing their minds right now. I just realized that I forgot to do the Blockbuster book. But here it comes. I'm going to start with 10 through 6 with the Blockbuster book, and then we'll come back to it. All right, number 10, Woodstock. All right, 3 days of peace, love, and music. 3 days of festival. Became 3 hours of memorable music footage and a unique document of the time.
Yeah, true.
All right, number 9, they have a film. It's another film by Ken Russell. He was really working that year. Called Women in Love. D.H. Lawrence's novel flourishes on the screen with Russell's vivid direction, which explores two love affairs. Man, we were really into cheating in 1970. By the way, all involved handle the intended eroticism with taste.
I doubt that highly. It's Ken Russell.
Number 8, Patton. George C. Scott gives a tour de force, blistering performance as an outspoken World War II general not in sync with the times.
Yeah.
Number 7, MASH, War is Hell, or dark comedy, the way Altman sees it.
Yeah, Korean War, it's one of the funnier things to depict. I get it.
This movie is funny, and FYI, so is the sitcom. Number 6 is Love Story. If you want to wallow in romance, go to the source.
Go to the source?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so number 5 for me, Henry, is Little Big Man.
All right. Number 5 for me, I like the performance much more than I actually like the movie, and that is Patton.
Okay, and number 5 for Blockbuster is Little Big Man. Very few movies mix tragedy and comedy with such effectiveness. Here's one that pays off in unmistakable entertainment.
Honey, let's Little Big Man. It's got that the rain guy. Let's get him.
Sometimes I mistake my entertainment. I don't understand whether it's entertaining or not. The book says this one's unmistakable.
All right, whatever you want. Gotta get home, Archie.
Oh, it's a Jewish family. My number 4 is Patton.
My number 4 is Love Story.
They pick a movie that I've always kind of wanted to see that I never have, called The Honeymoon Killers.
Oh.
A cult... Ooh, listen to this, Henry. Here's a cult classic that weaves the kind of tale you'd find in a crime tabloid and threads Mahler's music into the action quite cleverly.
Whoa. All right. Interested.
What's number 3 for you?
I think the underrated version of this great play, and that is Charlton Heston's Julius Caesar.
Okay. My number 3 is MASH. And Blockbuster's number 3 is 5 Easy Pieces. This vintage Nicholson piece gives him a chance to eloquently steal scenes. It's peppered with Nicholson shtick, including his classic rapport with a waitress while trying to get a side order of toast.
Hold it between your legs.
I know. People talk about that like that's like the only scene in that movie.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny, whenever I think of that movie, which I did when making this list, I never remembered that.
No,
it's a great scene, but
it's
that's
funny
not what I
in
think
the
of.
moment, but I don't understand why everyone like obsesses over it.
I don't know.
All right, number 2 for me is 5 Easy Pieces.
Number 2 for me is Woodstock.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's very, very long. It's never something I'll probably ever watch again in its entirety.
What's your favorite part? Country Joe and the Fish?
No. I mean, I only like...
Is it Sha-Na-Na? Do you like Sha-Na-Na?
Yeah, that's the problem with the film, is that I only like...
Yeah, you like it for those 30 seconds Jimi Hendrix is playing the Star-Spangled Banner.
I think we get some Creedence in there. I think we get some Santana, that's decent Santana from that era. Who am I forgetting? There's other...
I don't know. It's no Woodstock 99.
I can't argue that. Yeah.
Number 2 for Blockbuster is The Conformist. This stark psychological drama mixes the political drive of an Italian fascist with his battle to repress his true sexuality.
Wow.
Yeah.
We were really just spitballing in 1970.
We were having fun with sexuality back then.
Yeah,
Henry.
whatever, man. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah. All
and
right.
My number 1 film of 1970 is John Cassavetes' I believe, best film, Husbands.
Oh, all right. Unseen by me.
Ben Gazzara, his best performance ever.
Ben Gazzara. Buffalo 66 is Ben Gazzara.
Singing to Christina Ricci creepily.
Hey. Right. I don't know. This is my number 1 film in 1970 by like a fucking light year. I mean, there's nothing on my list that I even have remotely close, and that's 5 Easy Pieces. It's the best movie by not even... I could get rid of all this.
All right. I kind of agree, except Husbands.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because really, I don't... Yeah. These are all... A few of them are good movies on my list, but 5 Easy Pieces is the only one on here I'd really have any case to defend of any sort. Yeah.
Husbands, of course, not on the 1970 list for Blockbuster. Their number 1's Airport. Spellbinding entertainment, the first and best of the airplane disaster movies. 3 sequels and 2 parodies followed. Cuts between the in-air passengers facing a mad bomber and the snowbound loved ones at the airport, mostly them. Helen Hayes is magnificent as an unexpected little old lady stowaway. Fucking magnificent. That's what it says here, Henry. Fucking magnificent.
Wow.
And then it gives its Oscar nominations. So why don't we just dig into it? Let me hear that Oscar theme.
Yeah, let's just get right there, and maybe we'll get an ad.
So many noms.
Yeah, maybe we'll get an ad first. Maybe we won't.
It's country music's
Oh.
biggest night.
Ooh!
Entertainer of the Year, the CMA Awards.
Ooh, country's biggest night. Oh. Yes. Nominated for Best Editing. Lost to Patton. Nominated for Best Cinematography, but it lost to Ryan's Daughter. So sorry. Nominated for Best Art Direction. Lost to Patton. Best Costumes. Lost to a movie I've never heard of called Cromwell. Could be James Cromwell. Could be Oliver Cromwell. Lost Best Sound to Patton. Lost Best Score to Love Story.
Oh.
Stop the music. I want to talk about the score, guy.
All right. That was a nice, long, extended Oscar.
Oh, and I'm not even close to done. Henry, do you know about the composer of this film?
No.
His name is Alfred Newman. Of course, he was depicted on the cover of many Mad magazines.
Yeah, that poor guy. Yeah.
But what I wanted to say, by the way, one of the IMDb trivia is invented the Newman system for his music scoring.
The Newman system?
I don't know what that means. He holds the record, Henry, still, for the most Academy Awards of any composer, 9.
Whoa, you are right.
The closest to him in second place is, of course, Alan Menken, who has 8. He won
I thought you were going to say Williams.
He won his Oscars for Camelot, The King and I, Love is a Many Splendored Thing, Call Me Madam, With a Song in My Heart. Mother Wore Tights is the name of a film.
Sure.
And The Song of Bernadette, but he was nominated like a billion other times.
43 times.
Yeah.
This was his last score.
It certainly was, Henry, because he died the week, or like 2 weeks before Airport came out, of emphysema. So the Airport curse continues.
Jesus, man. Wow.
Nobody talks about it.
No, nobody else.
I think this is a more convincing curse than fucking Poltergeist.
Yeah, because there seems to be more players involved.
Yeah, there's just no kids.
More victims.
Yeah.
Alfred Newman. Yeah, I'm looking at this fella. Well, you know what? He had a nice even death. God. He was born on March 17th, 1900.
1901 or something.
I'm reading it right now.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. March 17th, 1900, and died on February 17th, 1970.
That's aesthetically appealing to you.
It's very appealing. It's just very symmetrical, you know. He was if he could have lived one more month, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
So it was a posthumous nom for this, but he lost a Love Story. I'm not even close to done. Let's see. Best Adapted Screenplay, Airport was nominated.
Yeah.
George the Genius Cedius. He lost to, looks like MASH, Robert Altman. It was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Henry. Maureen Stapleton was nominated for playing the wife of the bomber.
Yes.
And she lost to Helen Hayes, who won for this movie.
That's bullshit.
Playing the old lady stowaway.
That's bullshit.
You think Stapleton's better?
She's my MVP.
Oh, she is good. You know, she makes you care about that lady, and she kind of makes you care about the bomber even.
She does. I went out on a limb with my MVP because it took me some I initially right away kind of went to Burt Lancaster, and then I was like, wait. Those scenes with her, she was really going for it. She's like acting. She's acting.
With a capital A, baby.
It's good. She's good. She's my MVP. So Helen Hayes, goddamn.
Yeah. Best Picture. Airport was nominated but lost to Patton. This film was also nominated for some GGs.
Fuck. Right. Every time I think I'm done, he pulls me back in.
I'll tell you one thing about this movie. It tied for Love Story at the time was the highest rated film to air on television. You know, when like that was a big deal, like films airing for the first time on TV. And this tied Love Story for that record.
I'm old enough to remember when a movie coming on television was a big fucking night at the house.
Me too. I remember the first time Titanic aired on television. It was a huge fucking deal.
Oh, sure. Tail end of the VHS era.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to watch it. All right, here we go.
Remember when they aired Schindler's List on TV? They like kept all the violence and titties and shit.
Globes, it's the Hollywood foreign press, mostly French.
All right, mostly French.
That was a great intro to that song. Kept all the titties and shit.
All right. Airport was nominated for Best Score at the Golden Globes. Lost to Love Story. Nominated for Best Supporting Actress, Henry, you'll be happy to know, not Helen Hayes. She was snubbed. Maureen Stapleton, your MVP, tied. She won Best Supporting Actress at the Golden Globes, but it was in a tie with future Airport star Karen Black for 5 Easy Pieces.
Wow. Interesting.
Very
Look
interesting.
At that. Karen Black. Okay.
And George Kennedy, who played Captain Patreon or Captain Petraeus or
General Petraeus.
Yeah.
It's Petroni.
Right,
the
right.
lone Italian in the movie. He's very Italian, George Kennedy. Very Italian.
The most. And he lost Best Supporting Actor to John Mills for this David Lean film that we can't stop hearing about, Ryan's Daughter. And it was nominated for Best Drama. And it lost not to Patton, but to Love Story. GG's went with Love Story.
Wow. Yeah. What a phenomenon.
Yeah. How about the BAFTAs, Henry? I'm very excited now that we have this theme that I forgot about.
That's right. Here we go.
The British Academy of Film, Television, and Arts. BAFTA.
I have not tired of that.
Good.
Maureen Stapleton again, Henry, nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And
I feel kind of proud of myself. That I'm, you know me, I'm not really that great at sometimes picking out who I think are the best supporting performances. I think I got some support here.
You nailed that one. The BAFTAs decided to give it to Susanna York for They Shoot Horses, Don't They? I guess that came out later in England because that's a 1969 film in America.
Oh, up top.
Oh, 69. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Let's start talking about this.
Wait, one quick question. No British Film Institute lists?
No British Film Institute. No AFI. I wouldn't mind hearing the British Film Institute theme.
I think it's really. I think it's entirely possible that it's probably on something in their archives. So.
And the British Film Institute.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about it. Airport opens, you guessed it, in an airport. And this is a Chicago airport at the Transglobal Airways terminal.
Yes, a thinly veiled TWA. Yes.
Although Kennedy works for TWA, Henry. So I don't know if it is a thinly veiled TWA. Because they use TWA in this movie.
Do they, though?
Yeah, they're like, let's bring in Petroni from TWA. He'll work on it.
Wow, you caught that. I didn't catch that. I just kept hearing TGA the whole fucking time.
I was riveted to this film.
Were you really?
I really was. This is a 2 hour and 17-minute movie. I was a little bit dreading it. Like, I knew it would be fun to cover these airport movies, but I just knew this first one was really fucking long. And I just, like, super... I mean, there's no one even in it to excite me. Like, the second one's got, like, Charlton Heston, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, this one's just, like, Burt Lancaster. I fucking hate Dean Martin.
Right, I know
you know,
do. Yeah.
it's just a bunch of random like 70s stars, more like 60s stars.
Yeah, it's true. Well, this movie, the two things that struck me right away about the movie were, one, that it wasn't quite what I was expecting in those two ways. One, I said it earlier, the way the film is made really felt like a leftover 60s movie, early 60s Hollywood movie. It really felt like a 1960 movie to me. And two, I really wasn't prepared for the amount of time we were spending in terminals. I thought I was in for a full-blown disaster movie. There's nary a disaster to truly be found.
I felt a lot of relief at that, Henry.
Did you really?
I really did. And honestly, when I was watching Airport 1975, I was feeling the grind of it a little bit, like getting through all like the hardships in this movie. I was just like, we're just introducing like a bunch of people. They're all just going to be hanging around an airport terminal. Then we're going to catch up with them in the air. Yes. And everyone's going to have a real nice time. We're going to go flying. Then something bad's going to happen. We're going to turn the airplane around. And everyone's going to handle it just fine.
Very well.
We're going to land with zero consequences.
Nothing.
And everything's going to be great.
There's nary a death.
And maybe a couple people are going to learn to be better people.
Learn to be better people. Some people may or may not end up getting an abortion.
At least two characters are leaving their wives by the end of this film.
Yeah, Bert and Dean are definitely, much to the horrible treatment of Dean Martin's wife, who I must say already expresses, oh, that's just him.
Dean Martin is married.
I mean, she is totally accepting of this, and she has to bear the indignity. At the end of the movie, Dean Martin walks off the fucking
I was blown away. I was blown away by the balls on this guy.
I thought there'd be one scene where he's like, look, honey, it's just not working out between us. I think it's time to call it quitso.
It's a life and death scenario. He has been cheating on this woman who is, by the way, the sister of the head of the airport.
Very bad.
Very bad. Burt Lancaster. And Dean Martin lands this plane safely, but it was a life and death scenario. His wife, this poor woman, is the first one waiting at the gate. She, like, right when you walk through the gate, there she is, all right? She to see her husband to safety.
Yeah.
He walks past her with nary a glance.
Nothing. And the camera lingers on her like, but remember, I
guess the audience's response is supposed to be like, haha, fuck you, lady.
Certainly felt that way. As a viewer, it's like, was I supposed to? Oh, all right.
But Henry, here's the thing. Here's why this movie is great. In the moment, before I gave it any thought, I was sort of like, fuck you, lady. Because I liked Dean Martin with this Preggers lady.
Right. Well, she's very.
And I love that he's like this old man, and he impregnates her, and his first reaction is like, abortion time, baby. Let's take you to Sweden. But he thinks about it throughout the film and decides that he's ready to be, after all these years, he truly is ready to be a father. And so when she is struck by the bomb that goes off in the bathroom of the plane.
Great effect, by the way, when she gets blown against the door.
It's great, actually. I hope you're not joking.
I'm not joking. I thought, first of all, I will say this. That bomb maker, really not too good at his job. I mean...
Well, I want to say, we get one look at the bomb, and I'm seeing a clothespin. I don't think that is going to be helpful.
It looks like Wile E. Coyote put this shit together. It's like TNT sticks put together, and then the door blows off, and Jackie Bissett just kind of goes, boom, like...
It's a rough hit.
She should be dead.
But she's not, and neither is the baby.
She has a little bit of a head injury. A little minor head injury.
Well, she's down at least for the rest of the movie.
No, she is. But like when I saw that door fly off and knock her against the wall, I was like, oh, wow, they killed off Jacqueline Bisset. And then it's like, no, she's all right.
Well, she just gets injured to make cheating Dean a better person.
Cheating Deanie. Yeah.
A scoop, boo, boo, get an abortion, a doodle-dee-doo.
Love you. See you in a week. One of my favorite Phil Hartman
Why
impressions.
isn't Sammy Davis in one of these airport movies? Is he?
It's not 1960.
Is
It
he?
should be.
No, but he was doing. He like guest starred on like All in the Family around this time.
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe he couldn't get there. I don't know. Maybe the snowstorm kept him out. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a real snowy kind of movie, and I think you needed that. Another problem I had with Airport 1975 is not enough precipitation. Everything was too calm.
Well, this was a kind of a red herring in Airport.
White herring.
Exactly. It was a
Yellow if the dog's out.
Oh, dog piss movies. Dog
I bet
piss
Dean Martin is definitely the type of dude to like write his name in the snow with his own piss.
Dean Martin is the type of dude who's so loaded during production that, I mean, I was watching some of his sequences and I was like, you know what, man? I am kind of proud of you for not looking totally drunk.
No,
Like
I think Dean Martin is engaged in the material, and I'll be honest, he's not my LVP. This was the most I've ever liked Dean Martin in anything.
I was gonna say I would have been surprised if he was, because he is far better in this than in the only other thing we covered him in, which was Ocean's 11.
I think some of the credit has to go to this George Seaton director guy, because he's like really putting together something. It's tense, it's edited well, and I think he's like not gonna let these fucking idiots get away with shitty performances. I think
Maybe
there
you're
are in Airport 1975 a lot more sort of novelty performances.
Yeah, I mean, although I have to say, I think that what I was going to say with the white herring in the snow, I was fooled. We make a lot of ado about the snowstorm, which
Bringing
is
up that dog again, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of just like a pro airplane plot. It's very odd. I was trying to figure out, is this movie trying to show that air travel is going to happen no matter what comes in its way? Like when Lancaster and George Kennedy are like, I'm like, wait, shouldn't they just ground the plane and cancel the flight?
It is amazing. At some point, they're snowing. An airplane has skidded out on the runway they were supposed to use, and they've done a head count of the passengers, and there's one too many people on the plane. And then they literally have a conversation that ends in "fuck it, let's take off."
Yeah.
And by this point, they're already skeptical of that bomber guy. They're like, he's holding his case a little too tight.
Got a bomber. They got a bomb on the bus. They've got an old lady stowaway. They got a snowstorm they can't dig out of, and they're just like, you know what? We did kind of promise the shareholders that we were going to make this flight, and they mention it very.
And
blatantly.
Isn't this the same movie? They're like, you know, that next town over is always complaining about the noise.
Yes, it's a noise pollution movie. A lot of that.
Is that this one or 75?
The noise pollution? I think that was this one. I feel like
it's 2 hours and 17 minutes. There were just so many balls in the air.
Yeah, there were. I don't remember, but I feel like this was a noise pollution one.
There's also like Lancaster's wife showing up at the airport, and he's sleeping with his assistant. I mean, Burt Lancaster is ostensibly the lead of this film. We haven't even really talked about him yet.
No, and I got to tell you something. I didn't, until I like read afterwards the plot summary, not once did I think him and Gene Seberg were sleeping together.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I thought
their chemistry was off the charts, and
it was, but it looked like something that was unconsummated.
No. This was a thing that had been long discussed. The vibe I got, Henry, was they have been sleeping with each other for years. It is much like the Dean Martin relationship, just understood that Burt Lancaster is married, and as long as that's the case, there were like a couple of things where Seberg was like, where Lancaster would be like, yeah, my there was like a heaviness anytime like Seberg had to be like, your wife's on the phone.
Yeah, but I guess also because maybe you know what it is too? It's casting. Dean Martin is such a fucking scumbag that I bought it right away. I didn't even have to think twice. But with Burt Lancaster, I'm like, well, he's the noble guy. There's no way he's doing.
There are no noble people. It's 1970. It was a fucking hellhole.
George Kennedy no, he's not noble either because he just screams at everybody.
You know what, though? George Kennedy is very in love with his wife, and he is desperate to get home and fuck his wife this entire movie.
He's making out with his wife to the point where
hardcore, man. Like he's dry humping her on a couch like 5 minutes into this thing.
He's doing that great 1940 through 1970 Hollywood kiss where it's just like
full mouths open.
Yeah, and they don't move. And he's like got her neck in a vice. And then 4 years later, they're in love so much he's with another woman.
No, it's the same character. It's just a different actor.
Yeah, but I was like, wait a minute, that's Webster's mom. Why is she with George Kennedy?
Oh, that was Webster's mom? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for you. All right, so yeah, Lancaster's cheating on his lady, Martin's cheating on his lady, but they're the heroes of this film, and we're supposed to be rooting for them to get with their mistresses.
In all fairness, Lancaster's wife is also openly cheating on him.
True, and I want to say that she is my LVP. She's was
bad.
Too overtly villainous for me. I thought the Dean Martin cheating scenario was more interesting because his wife was a more likable character.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, she wasn't my LVP, but
she's written like she's fucking Lilith from Frasier. Like this like relentlessly dark, evil asshole. You know Lilith from Cheers.
Oh, sure, Baby Newworth.
Yeah, Baby Newworth.
Okay, thank you. Yes. My LVP was a little bit of a toss-up, but it's going to be controversial. But now I'm really glad I chose it.
Okay, so if I can take you back to my viewing of the film, I recall being a half hour into this movie.
Yes,
and I'm loving it.
Loving every second of it. I was.
My rating is going up by the minute. Yeah, and so the stowaway storyline comes in about a half hour in, and I'm like, is this the plot of the movie? Like, I really couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, I know in Airplane, there's like a food scenario, and then in the second one, there's a bomb. So I'm like waiting for something bad to happen, but like through a full half hour of the movie, the worst thing to happen is there's an old lady that sneaks on planes sometimes.
Yeah.
And Lancaster has a charming scene with her, and they decide that they're gonna like try and stop her from doing this, and so they figure out how she's been doing it, and they send a guy to keep an eye on her. And I'm watching this movie, and nothing's happening. I'm loving every second of it, but what's the plot? And then finally, minute 35, bomber time. But it's just like an old... that storyline commences with just an old man talking to his wife, Maureen Stapleton, in what looks like a diner that she runs.
I totally got confused by that and quickly obviously figured it out because the script figures it out afterwards. But when he's at the diner, I'm like... Oh, what an unusually close relationship this customer has
with his waitress. Yes.
Yeah, that's all I thought. And then later I was like, oh, they're married. Yeah. I will say that the Helen Hayes subplot comes very close to crashing this movie.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
No, I get what you were saying. Like, the fact that she got awards attention for this role is bonkers.
It is nuts, and I think it's the weakest part of the movie by far.
Here's why it's not. I would have agreed with you, but the scene where they discover that she's sitting next to the bomber and that he has the bomb and they need to find a way to get her to the cockpit to, like, use her as a diversion... And
that was cool. You're right.
That was great. And you know who was fucking great during that sequence? Dean fucking Martin.
Yeah. I agree. But
I'm gonna go out into the aisle and do one of those handshake hellos for the captain. Yeah.
But you know what would have been cool? I remember thinking, much like the sequence where Dean Martin ignores his wife at the end, I remember thinking they bring Helen Hayes into the cockpit and you know that something is going to be spelled out. But I would have liked to have seen that scene, and you don't get it. Like, she comes into the cockpit.
No, but then we'd know what the whole plan is, Henry.
I would prefer to just know the plan.
No, I like to watch the plan unfold. We know that she's going to do them a favor, and that if she does it properly, she's going to get free air travel for life, and that's all I need to know at that point.
By the way, I love on a side note, I love that the concoction is, listen. Now, there's a guy with a bomb. He could
calm down.
Explode it. Right. He could explode it. If so, we all know that we're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Please
go sit next to him.
If you survive, you 89-year-old woman, you get free airfare.
But she nailed it. Martin's whole thing was while she's distracting him, he's going to grab her his case, which has the bomb
Martin
in it.
Fucks up because
Martin doesn't fuck up.
His girlfriend tries to grab the case.
Yeah,
grabs
but
the
the
case.
whole problem was that fucking third guy sitting in that row who, like, this fucking do-gooder who was like, I saw you grab that man's case. You need to give it back.
Well, nobody would give a shit if somebody took someone else's
Maybe now.
briefcase.
I don't know about the 1970s. Everyone was fucking each other. It might have been more polite back then.
Nobody cares. Somebody takes his briefcase. I mean, it's one thing when they think the old woman's being verbally abused by Gene Seberg, but not Seberg, by Bissett. But it's another thing for other grown man to be like, don't take that other grown man's personal property.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know. Helen Hayes got on my nerves.
Didn't get on mine. Loved her.
And every time she's on screen, you have to hear that fucking music by Alfred E. Newman, where it's going,
No, I know what you mean. It reminded me of that like the Uggy the dog music in The Artist. Well, like doot doodle deedle doot boop boodle deedle doot boop boodle deedle doot doot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great stuff. It turns out that Maureen Stapleton comes to the airport because she suspects that her husband's going to suicide bomb this plane. And she's right, because he bought like an enormous... But the scene where he buys the life insurance policy, Henry, and like he goes up so overtly nervous. Like he's just like, I'd like to buy the biggest life insurance policy you got. I'm definitely not going to kill myself. What's the sweat? No, nothing.
I'm fine. I have a one. I have a couple of ones here. I don't usually carry the cane.
Yeah.
Sure.
Aren't you? Don't you have money that you're bringing to Europe with you? Well, I don't plan on getting there because I'm going to kill myself. I mean, no, I don't carry cash with me.
It's the worst suicide bomber in the history of suicide bombers, and she asked him, if you wouldn't mind contributing, we're having a raffle, and if I win, I get the first prize.
That's right. There's a sales contest happening.
Yeah, and she's all
How many subplots are in this movie?
A lot. And he's like, sure. I'll contribute to your. I only have one. Here's some quarters. Yes, she's not a great screener. But she tries.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening in this movie, and nothing at the same time. So.
Right. So it turns out that dude got fired from his old job for being a mental patient.
That is kind of the explanation. He had a temper. He had a temper.
Yeah, he spent some time in the hospital. What kind of hospital? Mental. Yeah.
Ooh. End scene.
Yeah, end scene. And it turns out that when he left his last job, he stole some explosives.
Yes.
And I love that that's something everyone knows, but no one like went and got the explosives from him while he was in the mental hospital, maybe?
He's the detonation expert. What's your potential suicide bombing husband's expertise? Demolition.
Mm-hmm. Clothespins.
Okay, let's check 23D. Yeah. No, but she goes through this whole thing very convincingly, and that's why, it's not surprising, though, to see Maureen Stapleton later credited in interiors. Someone who actually can do some very, very deep, good acting. So
it's heavy stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a note here that says that nun drinking was hilarious. I don't remember what that is.
See, I remember that. See, again, I'm conflating the two movies, but I totally know what you're talking about. The nun is taking she's got a what do you call those? The airplane bottles?
Yeah, the airplane bottles.
Airplane bottles? Is that what you
Yeah.
What do you call those airplane bottles? Airplane bottles. Right, the airplane bottles. Yeah, doesn't she have like a big one though, the nun? She's got like a sort of like a bigger mega jack going on there. In the second one, there's a lot more drinking. And
a lot more nuns.
A lot more nuns, a lot more music. Anyway.
Okay, so the bomb goes off. The only one who gets injured is Bissett. Dean Martin.
He's out the window. He dies.
The bomber goes. Yeah, he's great. But Dean Martin turns the plane around. Everyone is totally fine and lands the plane safely, and that's the end of the movie.
I like that there's now, I'm no air traffic controller, but that giant...
you don't push 10, Henry?
I don't push 10. I haven't since 99. Yeah. That giant hole in the bathroom, they're just standing around by it, putting up blankets. Nobody's going to fall out to their death. They're just like, how's that coming with the patchwork? It's like, pretty good. We've got a couple more blankets and we'll have it patched up. Nobody's getting sucked out of anything. It's
Dean
great.
Martin's just mad there's no bathroom anymore to fuck the stewardesses in.
Or take a urination from his 300 vodkas he's had. But isn't the bomber the famous actor Van Heflin?
It is, yeah, Van Heflin.
Why? What is he? He's. I know I really sound like both of us will like rubes here, but he's like mega fucking famous. I mean,
is he? Was he in like John Waters movies or something?
John Waters movies? No, he's in 3:10 to Yuma, Shane.
Oh, okay.
He's like one of those old timey actors from a lot of.
Dio Guerrero is his character. This, by the way, Guerrero. He looks very Latin.
He is very Latin. Van Heflin.
Yeah, he's in a Three Musketeers picture. Stagecoach. Yeah, a lot of westerns and war movies and shit like that.
He's in the Alfred E. Newman scored The Greatest Story Ever Told about Jesus Joseph. Dio Guerrero.
Yeah. All right, what do you give Airport, Henry?
Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
It's getting a 2.
A 2?
I'm sorry. I wanted to give it a 3. I just it's just way too long, and Helen Hayes really turned me off. I like
Is she your
Kennedy.
LVP?
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
I like George Kennedy. I liked Burt Lancaster. I like Gene Seberg and Jackie Bissett. I like the acting. It's just too fucking long, and there's too many goofy little subplots that just distracted me.
Those are the best. This movie reminded me of a Roland Emmerich film, Henry. The Roland Emmerich formula, which is just like a lot of small, goofy subplots with people of different races, and then some crazy shit happens.
Too much time on them. I think the stuff in the airplane itself is much more compelling than anything on the ground.
Honestly, I have a note here that I took an hour and 8 minutes into the movie when the plane took off, and I was like, end the movie there. All right, and just have it be the assumption be that the bomb went off and everyone died.
Right. You could still call it Airport because it's all in an airport.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun thing about this movie. It's called Airport because most of it is in the airport.
It absolutely is, in airport bathrooms, lounges, anywhere you can think. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more. I had big expectations, and I think they
tiny expectations.
Yeah, well, that was wise. I thought it would be something else, and so when I quickly realized it wasn't, that was fine. But the length, wow. It was trying, and it did bother me. It was hard for me to get into a 1970 outlook when everything in it, I've said it like 3 times, but really, really waxed poetic about a 1960 film. It really seemed like a 1960 film. I didn't get a 70 vibe from it. Does any of that make sense with that
Sure.
part? The acting and all that?
Yeah.
Because 4 years later, you are so in the 70s. It's fucking crazy. And
Well, it's like anything. Like, if you watch a movie from 1990, it feels like an 80s movie.
yeah, but with movies at that point, acting had already evolved to another level, and so I mean, we are 1970.
This is a mainstream
Cowboy.
Hollywood picture from 1970. This is not trying to capture the burgeoning youth market. This is a film aimed squarely at squares, Henry. And
Absolutely.
I loved every second of it, and I give it a 4.
So you're a square, and I figured you'd give it a 4. Why not a 5?
Oh, well, I never even came close to giving it a 5. I mean, it is too long, and not enough happens and stuff, and it's really silly. And but like, to me, like, I started out assuming I'd give this movie a 2, and then, like, a half hour into it, I was like, I think this baby's a 3. And then at a certain point, I was like, this is a fucking 4.
Wow, I love it. I love the rating, even though we disagree. It was not an unpleasant experience. It was totally fun to watch, just a little bit of a letdown.
MVP for me is Jean Seberg. I really thought that she lent an air of dignity to that particular cheating storyline. And I really liked her. I liked that scene actually with your LVP Helen Hayes, where Lancaster is treating her like she's queen of the world, and Seberg is just like, "What? Fuck this lady."
Yeah, and that was funny. Yeah, she's so hard on that woman.
Yeah.
It's like, you will not freeload on my airplane.
You broke the law.
And Lancaster's like, who fucking cares? What's the goddamn difference? Yeah.
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 All right, so she's my MVP. Your MVP is Maureen Stapleton.
That's
my LVP is Lancaster's Lady. Yours is Helen Hayes. Yeah. And is there a superhero count to this film?
Unbelievably, no. Not one of
I'm
the 50,000.
blown away.
Yeah, in this, as with Airplane, folks, this was one of my longest superhero counts to do, and I came up with nada. Not so for the sequel, but for this one, 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was shocked. Yeah.
So let's get into Airport 1975.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Which I wrote on my notes as Airport 75 from 1974.
Well, yeah, I know. It came out 4 years later in October 18th, 1974. And that is weird that it's called Airport 1975. It's like fucking, what, did EA Sports produce this?
They're getting you ready for the new edition.
Yeah.
And it's even weirder because, looking up when we're going to watch the next two, I'm looking at Airport 77 came out in 77 and Airport 79 came out in 79.
Full title, please.
Oh, I don't remember. One of them is the Concorde. I haven't gotten around to it. All I know is they are free. I didn't have to pay for these next two.
What? I did? Where are they streaming?
The next two we have to watch?
Oh, the next two. Okay.
They're free. These two I had to pay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. The next two are on like fucking Stars or some shit. Yeah.
Okay, new directors and writers on this one. Oh, I should mention that the first one was based on a novel by Alex Haley, which was like a huge hit, like probably like 4 years before the movie came out, 3 or 4 years.
Alex Haley of Roots.
Yeah, I saw that name and I thought Roots too. Excuse me, it's Arthur Haley.
Okay, I was gonna say, wow, did his
That's a different person.
Boy, his interests really fluctuated.
Yeah,
my goodness.
Arthur Haley wrote the Airport novel, and he also wrote the novel Hotel, which was later made into a film and a TV series. And actually, he wrote the novel that 0 Hour was based on, which is the one that Airplane took its plot from.
And you know what else is interesting about Arthur Frederick Haley?
Please tell me.
He's from Luton, Bedfordshire, in England. Sire, BC. Yeah.
Henry, he died 34 years after the movie was made. That's the fucking curse again.
He dies at 84.
Only 34 years.
Such a curse. Such a fucking curse, dude. Dude, he lived for another 50 fucking years, but he died. He died at 99. It's the curse.
It is the curse. All right,
Yeah,
let's talk about the director Jack Smite,
What a great name.
who died
that
in
is.
2003 of cancer. There's the curse.
Oh my God.
He was
awful.
mostly like a TV director, but he made a bunch of movies. The only one I've seen besides now this one is The Illustrated Man, which is kind of a fun, trippy movie.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
He did Kaleidoscope, which some people like. Harper with Paul Newman. Rabbit Run, based on the Updike novel, which I've never seen, but I love that novel. He did Midway, which there's currently a Roland Emmerich film about that in theaters now.
Yeah.
Which I plan on seeing. And
I don't think I've seen anything of this guy. This has got a big
looks like
list
in
of
the
stuff.
80s he made Number One with a Bullet, which is a buddy cop movie with Robert Carradine and Billy D. Williams. I think I've got to see that.
Oh, yeah. All right, so this guy's all over the place.
Yeah.
He was a working man.
He was.
Yeah.
And it was written by a fella named Don Ingalls, who died in 2014 at the age of 95. That's the curse.
Man, there you go. Continues.
He was a TV writer mostly, of course. Wrote a lot of Fantasy Island. He wrote that Captain America thing where he's on a motorcycle and has a helmet. Yeah.
Nice. That's been in a couple superhero counts. Yeah.
It has. And just like a lot of TV, a couple episodes of Star Trek, the original series, actually. Have Gun Will Travel, it's a good Western, whatever. So he's coming in to do this job. And
They couldn't get his brother Jack Spratt, so they decided to get Jack Smite.
and they couldn't get Don Ingalls' sister, Laura Wilder.
Y'all like Van Wilder?
What is that?
Remember that Zach Galifianakis joke?
Yo,
Y'all like Van Wilder?
I don't remember that. That's funny.
I like Van Wilder.
Is that him being Seth?
Yeah, it's Seth Galifianakis.
The Fugees?
The Fugees and Funyuns and Van Wilder.
All right, Airport 1975, cheapo movie, much smaller budget, $3 million. Because we didn't give a shit about sequels back then. Sequels were like ghetto in the 70s.
Yeah, it's true. And it's 74, so, I mean, The Godfather was what? That's the sequel. Or an Apes movie. Apes movie. We're doing that.
Speaking of Heston.
Yeah.
But on a budget of $3 million, this made $47.2 million. And it was the number 7 film of 1974, right behind The Godfather Part 2, and right ahead of The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams.
Ooh.
Can I possibly hear the Golden Globes theme again?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You don't
this
have
was
to.
up for
I'll sing
this
it.
was up.
The GGs, the Golden Globes, that's the Hollywood Foreign Press, mostly French.
Mostly French.
This was nominated for 1 Golden Globe Award, Henry. Singer Helen Reddy, famous for I Am Woman.
I am woman. Yeah.
She was nominated for Best Female Newcomer, which was an award that existed back then.
All right.
But she lost to Susan Flannery for another disaster movie, The Towering Inferno. So by this point in 74, Airport was a huge hit. They started making a lot more disaster movies. So this same year, Airport 1975 came out. You also had Towering Inferno, which I think was the number 1 movie of that year, and Earthquake, which also was high up on the list.
Yeah, neither. I think I've seen Towering Inferno. I've never.
That
seen
is long.
Yeah. Well, it's a tall movie.
Not as good as Skyscraper.
That's for airing right now for free,
Watch
and
it.
I won't be seeing it.
Why?
I don't know.
Hey, that's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One-armed rock.
One-armed... I believe one-legged rock.
One-legged rock.
Yeah, because I think he uses his leg as sort of like a hanging device at some point.
Does he beat somebody to death with it?
I think he might. Yeah, I think I cheered. And Carla Gugino, or who plays his wife in this one? Carla Gugino, San Andreas.
Yeah.
Maybe Nev
Yeah.
Campbell? I might have made that up.
Nev Campbell?
Yeah.
I think he's dead.
Nev Campbell's not dead.
Sure.
They just
All right.
announced Scream 5 this week.
Oh.
But we don't know whether it's a reboot or a sequel yet.
Okay. All right.
Henry,
Daniel.
do you have your top 10 for 74?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
I do. Another year I'm not particularly thrilled with, but
This is a good year. What's your? I have some honorables if you want to hear them.
Ow, I do.
Black Christmas, Blazing Saddles, Caged Heat, Dark Star, Freebie and the Bean, The Parallax View, and The Sugarland Express.
I'd like to see the Parallax View.
Sugarland Express is great. Black Christmas is great.
That I need to see. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a
What
need
about
to
Caged
see.
Heat? You ever see that? Jonathan Demme.
Are there like women in prison? Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
in
but
there?
it's a Jonathan Demme women in prison movie, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I love Jonathan Demme, and I love women in prison. So there you go.
Okay.
That came out wrong. All right. My number 10, really, I don't like this movie. Blazing Saddles.
Okay. That's a good movie. My number 10 is Robert Altman's Thieves Like Us.
My number 9, this has come up when we did, Godfather 2, and I don't know what else we did recently, 74, but forced me, all my friends, Dan included, to watch A Woman Under the Influence.
Great movie. My number 9 is Mel Brooks's better film from that year, Young Frankenstein.
Okay, all right. My number 8 is a very boring movie, The Great Gatsby.
That is a boring movie. My number 8 is, and still better than the more recent movie. My number 8 is Brian De Palma's wonderful musical Phantom of the Paradise.
That I purposely left off my list.
I know.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's insufferable. All right. Number 7, it's a good time. This movie's a good time. Murder on the Orient Express.
Good time. My number 7 is Orson Welles' F for Fake.
Yeah. God damn it. Number 6, Death Wish.
My number 6 is Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep. Not going to see it till we cover it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now these are great movies from now on.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. Number 5, Young Frankenstein.
My number 5 is Martin Scorsese's Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Yes. Number 4, continuing on my Jewish theme from Young Frankenstein. Number 4 is Mahler.
My number 4 is the aforementioned Woman Under the Influence.
Oh, all right. Now we move to the Italians. Number 3 is The Godfather Part 2.
Mm-hmm. My number 3 is the other Coppola film from that year, The Conversation.
That's my number 2.
My number 2 is Chinatown.
That is the best movie of 1974.
My number 1's Godfather Part 2.
Interesting. Now that's a switcheroo for you, right? Because
It was a switcheroo when we watched it for The Godfather Part 2.
Me too. Godfather 2 was my number 1 for a very long time, but it actually has jumped down 2 spots.
That deserves it.
Well, it absolutely does, but you got The Conversation and you got Chinatown, so I don't feel
No, I
too bad.
agree. Those
Don't
are the
feel
top
too bad.
3. If you
Yeah.
have any other top 3, you're wrong. It's just a matter of placing them. It's like 1975 with Jaws. What is it? Jaws, Barry Lyndon, and
Dog Day Afternoon? Or?
no, Dog Day Afternoon 2, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, yes. I'm happy to see you say Barry Lyndon, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. You're right.
Airport 1975, Henry. Can we talk about it?
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay. So, we're in a whole new airport. Whole new crew of people. George Kennedy's there. We don't really know why, but he's there.
Mr. Petroni, the only carryover cast member is George Kennedy.
Every 6 months I switch airports, all right? I like to be on the move. I'm a nomadic airport guy.
Hey, I like when George Kennedy comes up to the mechanic right in the beginning and the mechanic razzes him, but it's the longest razz joke in the history of razzing jokes. He's like, "Hey, thought you never left the desk now that you got that new job in the new airport with that position where they don't let you. And I'm like waiting for him to fucking finish the joke.
Because it's kind of a joke, but it's mostly exposition.
It just goes on. And yeah, exactly. He's like describing for us, George Kennedy, what he's been up to. So it's helpful. And then George Kennedy drops a wrench and George Kennedy's like, here's your old fashioned wrench.
Yeah. So this movie, we pick up with a whole new cast of characters. First, we're introduced to, I think our lead of the movie really is Karen Black.
I think you're right.
As Nancy Pryor. I don't.
Here we go.
I don't think maybe she should be the lead of this movie.
I think she acquits herself well in this movie. I think
Henry, does she not look a little weird?
Karen Black has, I think, strabismus. Do you know what strabismus is? It's cross eyes.
I think
that
she's from like an inbred family or something. Like her eyes are too close together. I don't know what's going on. I think she's okay in this movie, but I think she's miscast. Like she's so great in Five Easy Pieces because she's sort of playing like this like dumb weirdo. And like when you put her as like the female lead in this like huge Hollywood release where she's supposed to be like boning Charlton Heston.
I understand.
Weird.
I understand. I just, for some reason, when she was grabbing hold of that plane and in these situations of peril, I could believe it, weirdly.
I couldn't stop looking at the minuscule space between her eyes. I don't know, man. So she's
no wonder she can't read those panels right.
Mm-hmm. She's fucking Charlton Heston in this movie. Heston is a pilot who is not on this flight that she's on to California. And he is another old man with a wife who is cheating on his wife with a younger stewardess. Heston, this entire movie, is wearing a yellow turtleneck, which perfectly matches his teeth. And
and his rug. He's got a great rug.
Great rug.
Movie. Great rug. Listen, I want to have this conversation.
How old is he in this movie? He looks like a fucking skeleton from Jason and the Argonauts.
All right, he was born in 1923, so if my math serves me correctly, he would have been
about 50. He looks ancient.
51. He's 10 years older than me in this movie.
I hope you look better than Charlton Heston in 10 years.
I hope I enunciate.
Henry, keep brushing those teeth, man.
Ever since I quit smoking, these babies are looking good.
Pearly white.
Yeah.
It's got to be an improvement.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I've got to tell you, baby, I don't want to have this conversation again.
He's such a bad actor. He's like a historically bad actor. I think he is piss poor in this fucking movie. And like he's an okay lead, like he's a movie star, and he acquits himself nicely in that role.
I'm with you. He is a bad actor, but it's kind of one of those things you can't get around saying he's a movie star. He looks like a movie star.
He's my LVP in the movie.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, not me. No.
I didn't like his character at all. The only cool thing is like his big stunt at the end, which of course is filmed from like 200 miles away, so that you're extra sure that it's not Charlton Heston doing it.
I'm pretty sure that throughout history,
I was watching that stunt, thinking like, God, they should like Tom Cruise should be in a remake of Airport 1975.
Oh my God, I'd be first in line. Tom Cruise in the remake of Airport of the sequel.
Yeah, of the sequel.
5. I love it.
Do it like for the Friday the 13th remake, where you just use shit from like from all 4 airport movies.
I love it. I would love that. That'd be great. Yeah. Heston, what is he a good actor in? I think he's very good in Soylent Green.
I think he's fine in that movie. Of course, he's like, danced off the screen by
Edward Johnson.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, he's good in that. He had like a little bit of a renaissance in like the late 60s, early 70s. Because, he's good in Planet of the Apes, and he's good in... What's
I
the
like
other?
Julius Caesar. I swear to God.
What's the other sci-fi movie he did right around the time of Soylent Green?
There's apes, there's Soylent, there's...
There's apes, there's Soylent. I'm looking it up. The Omega Man. The Omega Man.
Yes, I never saw the Omega Man.
He's good in that.
All right, but in the most part, he's a very bad actor.
Yeah, fuck him.
He's in Airport 74. He's fine. 75.
75. Yes, from the year 74. So he's fucking Karen Black.
Yes.
And who else do we have on this flight? There's Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. playing Captain Stacy, of course, Gwen's father, and and there's a patient on the flight, Henry. Oh wait, well, first of all, there's the other two pilots. There's Roy Thinnis as Urias, who is a horn dog, and there's Eric Estrada as Julio, who's also a horn dog, and they are all trying to fuck all three of the stewardesses, one of whom is Karen Black, and one of whom is this fucking blonde, waspy-looking girl who has a weird line early in the movie about being Jewish.
Very odd. Very odd line.
And now, she is desperate to fuck Julio, and Karen Black's like, Julio's married and tries to fuck every stewardess, and then she just responds like, yeah, but I want to taste his dick. I'm Jewish.
Yeah, she does. She does indeed, and it's this particular movie that really made me want to watch Airplane. Also, because if I had seen this movie first, I think when I watched Airplane, any of those worries about stereotypes and offensive things out the window, baby.
Hey, at least Eric Estrada is playing Julio, who is a Latino man who is an airplane pilot.
Okay, that's a really nice way to put it. Sure.
And I thought he was excellent in this film. I was upset when he died like halfway through.
Were you?
Yeah, I really was. I
mean, they don't make him a bellhop. That's nice.
He was my MVP.
He's your MVP?
I thought Eric Estrada was hilarious in this movie, and
really,
anytime he hit on anybody, I thought it was funny.
It was funny, but I felt bad. It's cringy.
Oh, of course it's cringy, but it's Airport 1975, literally the worst place to work in the worst year, and so whatever.
It's not that. No, but it was the combo cringe. I had the combo cringe going on it. The women,
the Latino stuff, and the horn dog stuff.
That was worse because the men, that's fine. They're all doing that shit. But then he's like, "Oh, I got to get you to mama. You know where to get the Jewish stewardess over here?" It's like, oh,
yeah.
Man. Eric.
At one point, he speaks to her in Spanish, and they're like, "What'd you say?" And he's like, "I said I wanted to fuck her. I want to get my dick inside of her little tight Jewish puss."
That's what he... That was the best Pepe Le Pew impression I've ever heard.
So that's Estrada. All right.
Boy, you're not gonna like my MVP then. Forget it. I'm not even gonna say it.
You're gonna say Heston, probably.
No.
Karen Black.
Well, we're not there yet.
Okay, fine.
But we got a lot of intros to get
Linda
through
Blair.
Loved it.
She needs a kidney.
Oh my gosh.
She's being transported to California on this plane to get a kidney because it's much easier to transport a woman on dialysis than a kidney.
By the way, where's the dialysis machine?
No. They say she could be off it for the flight, but the second they land, they've got to get her back on it.
Sounds very unsafe to me. I don't know.
Well, they've timed it perfectly.
Because if there's one place where there aren't waiting lines or delays, it's an airplane.
No, they put a fucking couch in the first class department, and she's just lying on this couch, clutching a guitar, which she doesn't play the entire movie, but she seems obsessed with. But then Helen Reddy, as one of the nuns, shows up and is like, "Hey, can I play your guitar?" And she performs an original song called "Best Friend," which should have been nominated for an Oscar but wasn't.
Oh my God.
And she's performing like an entire song to Linda Blair. I was losing it too. But the funniest part to me is they cut away, and then when they cut back, she's still playing guitar. I think it's supposed to be like an hour later at that point.
They cut away from her, and it's over, you think, and then like it's literally like 41 minutes later into the film, and they come back, and she's like, "Atmosphere in the night of the fair," and Linda Blair's face. Jesus Christ.
If I was on that flight, I would have
break it over her head.
And at this point, we're not even sure what the issue is going to be with the flight yet. Like, we don't know what the problem is. And so I'm thinking, like, is somebody going to, like, murder Helen Reddy for playing guitar on this plane? Because I would have.
I would have too, man. Oh, man, I would have thrown her down there Con Air style with the luggage. Yeah, that was bad.
But no, what ends up happening is there's like a small plane flying behind them.
Yeah, this like Cessna, right? Like some kind of
it's like a one-man plane, one-man cockpit.
He has an amazingly acted heart attack.
You better believe he's grasping that chest with both hands.
And he just dies, and
the plane. I love it. You see the plane like swerving around.
It goes up. It doesn't go down to hit the plane. It goes up into the. It's
yeah.
Great.
So it grazes. Yeah, it was. It grazes the side of the cockpit, wiping out two of the pilots on this commercial flight. The only one left is Captain Stacy, who seems to be now missing an eye. I took a lot of pictures of this, of him just bleeding from the face.
Dan sent me a screenshot the other day, and I hadn't watched the movie yet, and it just showed Stacy bleeding with, I think, Karen Black over his shoulder, and it said, "Get help!"
Yeah, I took 2 screen caps of him bleeding from the eye, and one of them he's saying, "Get help," and one of them he's just going, "Julio?"
Oh, man. It knocks the whole window out. So, I mean, we are not even, and God bless, we are not even attempting any sort of reality here. I mean, Karen Black spends the whole movie in this open air cockpit,
wearing a light jacket,
a light coat, no pants, and he's not getting sucked out of the window. And
I loved the moment where the co-pilot gets sucked out of the cockpit. He goes up in the air, no seatbelt, just gets pulled up into the fucking air. It is dynamite, and I love that guy. He's also the guy that had my favorite joke early in the movie, Henry. He goes, "Hey, I hooked up with this girl. All right. She was half French and half Chinese.
Oh my God!
I came home one night. She was eating my laundry." Now, I gave that joke a lot of thought.
Now, I heard the joke shaving my laundry.
I was watching it with subtitles, Henry.
Because French women, the shaving, that old...
I thought it was she was eating my laundry because French people will, like, eat a lot of stuff. They eat, like, frogs and snails. And meanwhile, Chinese people, they love to do laundry.
Well, that I got, but I got the... Okay, we heard it. Well, you cited subtitles, so there you go. You win. Eating my laundry. I don't even... What the fuck?
It's a horrible joke, but I loved the delivery. And then the whole crew, like Julio's like, ha 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 ha.
He's an aggressive Spanish man, so his laugh is very aggressive. But you're right. When Roy gets sucked into the air, that effect, ladies and gents, I shit you not, it is a dummy that gets dry. It makes the blow up dummy.
It goes zoop.
But it hits the top first, so it's like head like bounces down and the neck splits.
Like it's a balloon.
Oh, it's real good. Air pressure is happening. So we've got to get this plane out of the air.
What we have to do is land in Salt Lake City. That becomes the new plan. We're going to Utah.
Let's not forget the 3 drunk comedians. Jerry Stiller.
Oh, Jerry Stiller is blackout drunk the entire movie. Very funny.
Yeah. 2 buddies, Norman Fell, Mr. Roper, and who's the other guy? He's very famous too, the bald guy.
Did you know that Norman Fell is credited with 2 kills in World War II? It's my favorite fact about Norman Fell.
You wait a minute. Well, usually you get like a star or a medal. Who kept track of the kill ratio?
In World War II, there were stats on kills.
That's bullshit. Norman Fell came back and he's like knocking on people's doors, right?
Well, he got the credit, man.
I just so you know, I got 2 confirmed kills. I was a sniper. I was a sniper.
I got a lot more suspected kills, but those 2 are confirmed.
Those are confirmed. 2 confirmed.
Oh, God. Okay. So they're going to land in Salt Lake City. I love that everyone in Salt Lake is like super calm because they would be because they're Mormons. And what they do, George Kennedy takes off in a helicopter with Charlton Heston and an air rescue guy.
Yes.
And first of all, anytime they decide to do something, it takes like 3 seconds. Like they come up with an idea, like let's take off in a helicopter and find the plane. And so they take off in a helicopter. They're like, "There's the plane," and they find it like in the mountains. And the air rescue guy, he goes like, they're like, "Have you ever done this before?" And he's like, "Oh, I did this during the Battle of the Bulge or something."
Yeah. And the reason he's going is one of my favorite lines in the movie, which is when Heston says to Kennedy, he's like, "It's got to be me." And Kennedy's like, "It can't be you.
You're the star."
No, you're too big. And it's like, he's too big. Oh, okay. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe he's trying to get through that tiny. Okay, sure. So then they send a guy exactly the same size as Charlton Heston. And then when he dies in a second,
dude, that
right
death is so dynamite. He gets down to the fucking cockpit. He tries to like latch onto this little piece of debris, and he fucks up. And then he's just like, boom, dead in 1 second. To your point, they don't wait a minute before Heston's like, "All right, put me on." Oh yeah. They cut back to the helicopter. They're like, "Well, he's dead. What next?"
And Heston's on the lifeline within a minute. Mm-hmm. He's already on that. No lovey-dovey things. Oh, that was one of my favorite lines when he screams at Karen Black over the radio. And he's like, "God damn it, Nancy!"
Well, there is the love when he finally gets back on the plane and he's like landing it. There is that moment where Karen Black's behind him and he goes, "Nancy, I love you."
And it's true. And everyone's being real delicate with her at first, but including Heston when he's flying the little plane first. But when she just says like one thing, she just has like one moment of doubt where she's like, I can't do this. And he's been real nice to her so far. And then he's just like, "God damn it, Nancy, get back."
Don't be a bitch. Yeah. So he takes it in for a perfect landing. And then, I mean, like the hand of God on my shoulder, Charlton Heston picks up his intercom and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying Columbia Airways." And I was just like, I felt like clapping.
It was great. If I had seen it in the theater and had I been 50 at the time, I would have clapped.
So they land. First things first, George Kennedy pulls Linda Blair out of the plane and says, "Hurry, the hospital in Utah got a kidney."
Yes, they did not have a kidney set up, but they found one.
A kidney for it in Utah.
Midair, they called Mitt Romney and one of his 10 sons donated a kidney, and it was all good.
Not only did we get you a kidney, we got you a Romney.
We got you a Romney kidney. It's right out of his magic pants, and we're good.
So, I mean, that's the end of the movie. Heston and Nancy make up. They're together. Happy ending. I loved this one, too.
I had a great time during this movie. This was kind of what I thought the first one would be. It's very 70s.
But the first one was more like it had higher aspirations. Like the first one was trying to be like this huge, all-encompassing movie, like the way like Love Actually is like we're the ultimate love Christmas shit. Airport is like the ultimate dumb disaster movie of 1970.
It's true, but I just feel like overall, and we're not going to rank them till next week, but overall, when I see a movie called Airport, and I know it's going to be this big Hollywood show with 34 famous actors, including, by the way, Gloria Swanson playing herself.
That was in the sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see all these people in peril, and I don't need a lot of ground story.
No, see, I want ground story. When you give me one of these fucking, cast of thousands kind of movie, like, I want some time with all of the thousands.
Well, my favorite disaster movie of that era, and one of my favorite disaster movies of all time, is The Poseidon Adventure.
What's the best disaster movie of all time?
Oh, man, I'd need to think about that. But The Poseidon Adventure is up there for me.
Good one.
See, because that movie has the perfect balance of drama, terror, peril, and backstory. I love it.
There's too much running around in that movie, though. I like how in these airport movies, they're all just confined to a giant metal tube.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Run in the aisles?
Yeah.
It's... God, I want to watch Airplane again. Oh, my. Yeah, I don't know. Best disaster movies. That might be content for a Patreon episode.
Could
Top
be
10
good.
disaster movies.
2012.
Oh, I saw that in the fucking theater.
On my rec.
That was terrible.
That's
Jesus.
the best.
2012.
2012. Anything Emmerich. San Andreas. Does Cloverfield count? Armageddon.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got to straddle the line here between like Volcano and
those are disaster movies, I think, like Dante's Peak.
Yeah, but like Armageddon and
Armageddon, that's like a meteor. I think that's a disaster.
All right, I guess. I always thought of it just as like a sci-fi bullshit.
They don't get to space until like 2 hours into that movie.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to miss a thing. I understand.
I didn't want to miss a thing.
No, you didn't.
What do you give Airport 1975?
I'm giving Airport 1975 a very high 3 stars.
I'm giving it a solid 3 as well. Who is your MVP?
My MVP is going to be Karen Black.
Oh, okay. Right.
I feel like she probably got sexually harassed a lot on this set. So there you go.
Not with those eyes. I'm gonna give this movie. I mean, my MVP is Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada. Sure, he's thrilled with that role and remembers it fondly.
I bet you he does, man. Eric Estrada is like, he's very happy that he had such a long career. Come on.
I love Chips, man. When
Chips
I was
is
a kid,
great.
The figures, the action figures.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Punch.
That's right. My LVP. Okay, we didn't talk about him. He's really annoying. And that is the movie guy who wants to watch his own movie, who is played by Sid Caesar.
That's right. Yeah, he wasn't great. I'll give you that.
God, I mean, you're going to have Sid Caesar in a movie who probably isn't. I mean, if he's, I'm not of that era. I know, what is he, fucking like a lot of famous comedians, he's one of their heroes. I don't know, but he's not funny.
No. Sid Caesar's very, very funny. If you go back and watch like the Sid Caesar, your show of shows, where like all the scripts were written by like Woody Allen and Mel Brooks and shit,
right.
Like those are great. But I mean, he's a little at sea in this movie, literally. And I found that storyline annoying also. Especially at the end when he came back and he was like, "Did you see me? I hurt my chin on that last take. I don't know.
I did like his woman partner who watches with him, who kept drinking nonstop Boilermakers for the entire movie. That was great.
That was all right.
So he's
LVP. You know, I had one while I was watching it. Oh no, Heston. Heston's my LVP.
really
Yeah.
that bad, huh? Can't do it.
He's terrible.
All right. I do have a superhero count. Not a long one, but here we go, folks. Okay. All right. Very exciting stuff. There is a 4 count, and we are going to start with Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who played Captain Stacy. He has played Alfred Pennyworth in many Batman animated cartoons, Mask of the Phantasm, yada, yada, yada. He has also played
He's Alfred in like Batman the Animated Series?
in Mask of the Phantasm and the animated movie, and I don't think he is in the animated series, but in like a lot of those offshoot, he's in like a Justice League as Alfred. He keeps coming back as Alfred.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
He's also Dr. Octopus in a 1995-97 Spider-Man cartoon.
Look at this fucking guy. Those were all my cartoons. I've heard Ephraim Zimbalist. He might, maybe the voice of like Dr. Octopus when I read Spider-Man comics is fucking Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
There, if that's the voice you had in your head from that cartoon, then that's him.
It might be influenced at least.
Yeah, and he was also Justin Hammer in the cartoon of the similar year of that Spider-Man, or early
The Iron Man cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were all interconnected. Great stuff.
He's Justin Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Garland, who was Mrs. Scott Freeman in this one. Who's Mrs. Scott Freeman in this?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I have no idea. Who's she?
All right, she was in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, of course, and the one Linda Harrison, who plays Winnie. And I believe this was weird because this movie has so many people. I think Winnie is the character that Gloria Swanson is dictating her bio to.
Sure. I didn't care for Gloria Swanson. I could have lived without that even more than the Sid Caesar storyline.
Yeah, I get it. But her assistant is played by Linda Harrison, who was in the Batman series, live action, Adam West, in 2 episodes. One in an episode called The Joker Goes to School, and she played a cheerleader.
And
in another
twisted.
Yeah. And in another one, the episode is He Meets His Match, the Grizzly Ghoul. And she also plays a cheerleader in that.
God damn, I love that.
Great show. But if you're interested in a fucked up story, read that actress, Linda Harrison. Read her Wikipedia page.
Tell me.
Ooh.
Tell me now.
Well, she played one of the roles in Planet of the Apes, and she had a lot of substance problems and a lot of mental problems, and a little bit of a difficult ride on that movie, shall we say. It's a lot to get into right now, but it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's
Airport Curse.
Airport Curse, absolutely.
By the way, this was Gloria Swanson's final film, Airport Curse.
Thank God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Irene Tzu, who was the Chinese American stewardess in this, playing Carol. Remember her in this?
Is she the one doing laundry?
She walks on to. I'm not going to say it. All right. Yeah, she's in the movie. She played Mai Ling in the live action Wonder Woman.
Okay.
What a great decade the 70s were for racial equality in cinema.
Great stuff. All right, is that everything?
That is it.
Oh, God, I cannot wait for next week. This is exceeding all my expectations. I'm a big fan of these airport movies.
They're a good time. These are the movies that aren't as popular for our modernist crowd, but we like to go back to these decades.
These are great.
These are fucking great, man. These are the franchise. This is the franchise, the franchisee.
So we've got Airport 77 by Jerry Jameson, featuring another crew of insane actors. God.
I guess I have my work cut out for me again.
And we have the Concorde Airport 70, the Concorde ... Airport 79 by David Lowell Rich. By the way, Airport, the first one was rated G. Is that the first G-rated movie we've covered on the show?
Wow. Well, The Incredibles, no, that probably wasn't.
I think
G.
it's PG.
G,
Yeah.
yeah. Rated G. I think they had different standards back then.
Yeah. So